In the name of Allah, Assalamu alaikum, dear 8th class students. I am Shakir Majeed from UPS Tulwari. In the last lecture of this chapter, we discussed about cotton mills, and now today we have to discuss about a topic that is the sword of Tipu Sultan and wood steel. The story of Indian steel should begin with the famous story of Tipu Sultan, who was king of Mysore till 1799. He fought 4 wars against the British with his legendary sword. This sword is now displayed in a museum in England. It was made of high carbon steel known as woods that could easily rip the enemy's armor. Iron was mixed with charcoal and put inside clay pots by maintaining the right temperature, and hence fine quality steel was produced all over South India. Swords made up of this steel had a sharp edge with a flowing water pattern. Many European scientists were fascinated with the Indian steel woods. Michael Faraday spent 4 years in studying the properties of woods, but soon the process of making wood steel declined because the sword and armor making industry died as India was taken over by various European powers. The iron and steel from England displaced the iron and steel produced by craftsmen of India. This was about the sword of Tipu Sultan, and now next topic is abandoned furnaces in villages. Although there were furnaces present in every village, especially in Bihar, Central India. The furnaces were usually built of clay and sun-dyed bricks. Smelting was done by men while women worked the bellows, pumping air that kept the charcoal burning. Production at wood steel required a highly specialized technique of refining iron, but iron smelting in India was extremely common till the end of the 19th century. By the late 19th century, however, the crafts of iron smelting was in decline. In the 19th century, iron and steel was being imported from Britain. By the early 20th century, the artisans produced iron and steel faced a new competition. Last topic of this chapter is iron and steel factories come up to India. The year was 1904. In the hot month of April, Charles Weld, an American geologist, and Dara Baji Tata, the eldest son of Jamshedji Tata, were traveling in Chhattisgarh in search of iron ore deposits. Jamshedji Tata had decided to spend a large part of his fortune to build a big iron and steel industry in India. But there was a problem. The region was dry, and water which was necessary for running the factory was not to be found nearby. A few years later, area of forest was cleaned on the banks of river Sabarna Rekha to set up the factory and an industrial township at Jamshedpur. The Tata Iron and Steel Company started producing steel in 1912. By the time TISCO was set up, the situation was changing. In 1914, the First World War broke out. Steel produced in Britain now had to meet the demands of war in Europe. So, imports of British steel into India declined dramatically, and the Indian railway turned to Tisco for supply of rails. As the war dragged on for several years, Tisco had to produce shells and carriage wheels for the war. In 1919, the colonial government was buying 90% of the steel manufactured by Tisco. Tisco became the biggest steel industry within the British rule. Later, as the nationalist movement grew stronger, the Britishers tried to concede many demands in order to retain its control over India, resulting in development of Indian industries. So this we will come to end this chapter. Um, Thank you. Have a nice day. We will meet in the next lecture.